So I tried alcohol again. I'm not very happy with the results. That's not my wife. So this will be my third video on giving up alcohol. So if you haven't, you should watch the other two. There'll be links somewhere. Watch them. So my first video on giving up alcohol has got a few thousand views and seems to be popular and gets a lot of comments and interest. So I did a follow-up on what 1 year of giving up alcohol would be like. And today I'm talking about falling off the wagon, essentially going back to alcohol and what that experience was like for me. But first, let's rewind a little and figure out how I got to here. This shirt makes me look a little washed out. Let's change it. Better? Who knows? Anyway, so we went away for a week. A beautiful week with the family up the coast. Every day was going to the beach and swimming, going to the pool and swimming. We played some tennis, we went on big long walks. It was a fantastic holiday, especially with the year this has been with my cancelled move to Vancouver, which is still kind of on but not, and I'm stuck in Australia, losing my job, getting a new job, coronavirus, all of that stuff that has happened. 2020 has been a big year, and just getting a week away was fantastic. But let's focus in on the alcohol. I noticed up the coast, towards every afternoon, I started getting that feeling of, oh, I'd love to have a drink right now. And that's that habit, that kind of deeply ingrained memory I have of long days in summer at the beach, getting hot and sweaty, having swims, and coming back home or back to the holiday apartment and having a drink. It's just, it's habit. It's something that's obviously, it's just a memory I have that's so strong that is telling me every afternoon, it's like, oh, now would be perfect to have a drink, wouldn't it? And that's what you fight when you break a habit so ingrained in yourself and society in general. That's the kind of thing you need to fight against. And I decided after a few days, I went, bugger it. It's been, you know, nearly 18 months straight without alcohol. Why don't I try it again and see what happens? I went down to the bottle shop right in the bottom of the complex. Like, that's it. There was a bottle shop right in the bottom of my apartment complex. In fact, within a 500-meter walk, there was 3 or 4 bottle shops. Like, it's not hard to find alcohol in Australia. Polished off, I think, 4 cans for the night, which they were about 2.4 standard drinks. So we're looking at, you know, 10 standard drinks or so, rounding up, for a night, which that's a big night. Medically speaking, is classified as binge drinking, but then I think anything more than 2 drinks a day is classified as binge drinking as far as that goes. And so I got, you know, inebriated, I got drunk, I got kind of looser, and I did relax a bit, and, you know, I sat out on the deck and I kind of did some writing, I did some drawing, I read my kids' bedtime stories, my wife and I got to hang out for a bit, you know, spend some time together as adults, not just looking after kids. It was a pretty good night. But I really noticed the effects the next day. So it's actually kind of fitting that behind me here I have a picture of my wedding day with my wife, and we had an absolutely fantastically happy day together. And even the night when I had the alcohol on the holiday, we had a really good night together. But the day after, not so good. And it was all on me. So the way it started was I woke up at about 1 in the morning with a headache and just dry mouth and feeling a bit rubbish. Then I realised that my wife wasn't in bed with me anymore, but my daughter was, my 7-year-old daughter. And somehow they had an interchange during the night where she had come in from her bed afraid, I think, had a bad dream or something and wanted to be comforted and wanted to sleep in our bed. It wasn't big enough for the 3 of us, so my wife had left. I'd missed all of that. And then there I am lying in bed awake, it's 1:30 or whatever in the morning, and I'm cranky because I can't get back to sleep, I have a headache, and just generally not feeling the best. Not bad, not really badly hungover, just didn't feel very good. Eventually I got back to sleep, but it didn't last very long. I got woken up early, I decided to go for a walk, try to freshen up with my kid. It didn't work. Like, normally I'm trying to do intermittent fasting, I missed that, I ate some shit thing in the morning, which sucked. Wasn't even that good. I got back and I was like, you know what? I'll do some yoga and some exercise in the apartment. I got 15 minutes in and I couldn't hack it. My head was still not right, and I'm doing downward dog, trying to bloody, you know, get your head, and blood's rushing to my head, and I just went, fuck it. So I gave up. Then I ate shit food for lunch. I can't remember what we did for dinner. It was a shambles of a day. I wasn't even that drunk. I wasn't even that hungover. But it wasn't a fun day. And I wasn't a fun person to be around. And I wasn't happy with that. And if you go through my first video on alcohol, I'm pretty much ticking off all the bullet points here of the reasons, the benefits I found when I originally gave up alcohol. Better sleep. So I had a terrible night's sleep when I had alcohol again. Mood. My mood was significantly worse. Eating. So I made the comment in that first video about how I think alcohol is kind of like the linchpin habit where it then triggers a flow-on effect of negative multiplying habits where you drink and then you don't eat well and then you don't exercise and you drink and you like it kind of compounds. I had the same thing. I ended up not getting my exercise and I ended up eating a bit shit, like not following my eating rules. So I had bad sleep, I had a bad mood, I had bad eating and a bad exercise. I think I mentioned money in the previous video, and money, so I mean, I'll give myself a pass here. It was actually pretty cheap. I think University Zach would have been very impressed with my purchases. He probably would have also had double or triple the amount and ended up driving the white porcelain bus that night. But let's forget about that. And the final point, which ties into being grumpy, is this is being a good father and a good husband and just a good person in general. I find I lack that on alcohol. The fact that my daughter could wake up afraid in the middle of the night and not get my attention. No, I don't know if she tried, but the fact that I didn't wake up, that hurts me. That's way more important to me, that I'm that father who's there. And same with being a good husband. Like the next day, I really worked hard at not letting my headache and my cranky mood affect everyone else. But I'm sure it did. I'm sure my wife could sense it and just felt like, you know, I just wasn't on it for the day. And that's shit as well. I don't want to be that guy. And that all sort of wraps up nicely in, I don't think I was a good man in this family there. I don't think I was a good man in the family that night. I check all the bed, I check all the doors before I go to bed, I make sure everything's locked. If there's a noise, I'm up. If my kids are awake, I'm up. That's what I do. Part of my role, and I choose this, is to be the protector, is to make sure that my family's safe. That's part of what I see my role in my family of doing. My wife told me when we went to bed that the front door was still unlocked. One of the balcony doors was unlocked. Now granted, they're not probably climbing up many floors to get up, but they could. And I hadn't done my job of making sure everything was locked down. So all up, that's the bit that really hurts the most. A headache is shit, being grumpy is shit, not eating well, shit, not exercising, shit. But what really got me was the fact that I let myself down of the principles of the person and the man I have become and I want to be and I want to keep building on. And I feel like I let myself down on that. That's just given me a positive reinforcement of I'm on the right track with giving up alcohol. I don't act as a good man and a good person when I'm on alcohol. And I don't want to do that anymore. So that's it. I'm done. No more alcohol. Let me know if you like this video. Give me a thumbs up, comment, subscribe if you want me, just all that stuff. Let me know if you'd like me to make more videos about this kind of stuff. Otherwise, good luck and have fun.